What is my truth? My truth is my journey and what I've been through and how much I suffered. And my truth is about to come out to you on my journey of healing. This is my truth as it is, as it was, not as it is. I am free now, but I'll explain that in a moment. My truth. I have been abused for over 20 years, physically, emotionally, mentally, and financially, plus more ways. I stayed for my children until my daughter left to live with her dad, which at the time had already been kicked out of the house due to the fact that he already tried to kill me, sprained my neck. He strangled me after so many years of choking me, not for pleasure, but because he enjoyed his porn sex with others and violence towards me. He grabbed my neck, choking on the sides of my neck, the back of my neck, and bringing me to my knees. He pushed my head on the toilet, choked me with the toilet, and said he was going to kill me and flush me down the toilet because I caught him cheating again. I had zero self confidence. Then, scared to death of him, was not in him. The truth was not in him. He was a liar. I had left Athens for a real reason because I was threatened. Sorry, I'm really hoarse. I'm sick. By my ex, and I knew if I stayed, I would be um he it would be he that took my life. I knew I knew I would be no good to anyone dead. So I fled to for domestic violence because he had my child. She came home one day and told me she was going to live with him, her dad, my abuser. I had waited around for years for her and her sister to come back to me. Both chose not to. I was mentally and emotionally abused. No one knows your life until they step into your shoes. So I fled and left everything and everyone for my own safety. I have always loved my family, yet I was never strong enough or brave enough to leave all those years of abuse. I was married to a narcissist, mentally, emotionally, and financially, physically abusive man. I had to save my life for my family, or they wouldn't have someone praying and pushing for them to succeed, to be braver than me. I never wanted to leave my kids. I had to. I wasn't given a choice by my abusive ex. He turned out to be a monster hidden behind closed doors. I had reached out for help for him with counseling. He just tried to manipulate them too. One of mine was smart enough to catch on, needless to say. He didn't like her. And one was coddling him, comparing him looking at real women to me wanting decent clothes. He was a man with a violent temper, except getting caught red handed. Whether it was lying, cheating, manipulating, or being a narc with a violent temper, he would yet get upset and angry at me and the kids. He would favor one way more than the other. And I won't say which one because that one will know who it is. I not only had to be careful with my insight, I would have to learn to be careful with my words. I never thought anyone could make you do anything that you didn't want to do. As for abuse goes, he managed to control me with forcing me to say words against my own mom by holding me hostage and blocking the exits and stealing my pocketbook with the keys in the bathroom. Kept telling me what to say against her in court. And my mom made things worse by not such staying calm and reacting towards me. He was convincing me to say things against her that really wasn't true. I confessed this to my mom before she passed and apologized to her. We made up, but he had me so confused, so scared that he could control me except when it came to work, being out in the public. I made the same mistake many women do in him and took it. I made him look too good to many people, including my family. I was against abuse while hiding the fact that I was abused. I learned from the X rated book, or he learned from the X rated book, how to abuse me without leaving a mark, except that has except that time he strangled me with grabbing me around the back of the sides of the neck and pushing me down on the toilet. Then that's when I called the police, to which the cop's remark was, "I don't see anything wrong with you." And as I responded, "Of course you don't." Then he acted like he cared, except I was on to him. Sorry. I asked, "Can you make my 14-year-old at the time go with me?" Where he responded, "No, she didn't want to go then." So I drove myself to the hospital where they do have it on record. I didn't rely on the system after this event. I believed in them before, but think was when I was naive. So I started to have been thinking about my escape for years and years and years, about 20 something years. This got the whole ball rolling, and one day I decided to leave and told my mom and an old friend. But that was one of the many hardest things I ever had to do, to flee my abusive ex and leave my kids who was under another's care. I tried to be my best, yet it was never good enough for anyone. I was under attack from different sources, but I knew I had to leave to save my life. And I knew one day my kids would have a mom to come back to. Instead of the abuse to continue, I thought I broke the cycle of abuse. When And as I found out later, he had starved my Rose. But it was so many years later. He was an angry man. I was a cussing, abused, zero self-esteem, immature adult who didn't know what to do until it was almost too late. And so that's part of my story. I'm going to begin to share my journey and my truth because I think it's important now for me to do that. The time is now, not later. Oh, I'm sick. But I had to get on here and share my truth. And I hope you can understand the way I talk. But I will always love both my girls, and I will always love my daughters, no matter what. It's in a mom's genes. That will never change. I may not have seen you, but I still knew about you and where you were and what you were doing. I made sure of it. And I kept praying for y'all. And that's the truth. And that's my truth and my journey part of it. I will get to another part one day when I feel I can work through it. And when I feel I can be brave and strong enough to do the words I need to say and do. And I hope that no one's hurt or sad or lonely anymore, because that's a rough place to be. I've been there. My journey will start again the next time I come on, and I'll tell you about fleeing domestic violence. All right. God bless you all, and have a blessed night and a blessed day. And you've got my prayers and all my peace.